Hello, everybody. It's Dr. Cardinal, and I have had an influx of new followers lately, both on my personal page and on my chiropractic page. And some of you I've never met. And so I've been meaning to make this video for a while, kind of telling my story, how I got into chiropractic, kind of my background and my personal interests, because I wanted to share with you guys so you can kind of know where I'm coming from. And so I figured with the new influx of people, some of whom we only know each other via social media, I could just make this now and get to know you guys a little better, hopefully, and you guys get to know me and kind of understand my philosophy with chiropractic. So my journey into chiropractic is kind of an interesting one. No one in my family is a chiropractor. My dad's a medical doctor, and when I was a kid, he didn't really necessarily believe in chiropractic. And so growing up, competing in weightlifting and track and field at a fairly high level, I always kind of dealt with weird injuries. I had a couple shoulder dislocations. I had chronic mid back pain, just things like that you just assumed were part of the sport. And so after high school, I made the decision to serve a 2-year Mormon mission, and I went to Brazil. While in Brazil, I lost 60 pounds. And so when I got home from Brazil, the years of training and building up that strength base, I'd lost pretty much everything. And it just so happened that one summer day, went water skiing, and I got into a fluke accident, essentially. Something that, had I not lost my training base, I probably would have been able to sustain. But having lost so much strength, when I tried to kind of hold on when that slack hit me, I ended up blowing out 2 discs in my back. And so I blew out 2 discs in my back when I was 21 on a Monday, and I went and had surgery that same Friday. So it was a pretty severe injury. I had over 80% of my spinal cord compressed, and it took me about 2 years to completely feel my right leg again. And after I had back surgery, I decided that, being a young man and ambitious, that I was going to walk on to the track team in college, do my own rehab, and try and earn a scholarship. And all of those things happened. I did my own rehab for about 9 months, ended up walking on to the Utah State track team. When I competed there, I made the all-time top 10 list. I think someone knocked me off last year, not that it matters, but I pushed myself very hard after back surgery to excel beyond what people told me I could, because I never accepted the fact that because you had an injury or because you had a surgery that you couldn't then come back and do better. So fast forward to my last year throwing in college, I actually ended up making the L5 herniation worse. I kind of tore up some of the scar tissue from the L4 surgery, and then I had a annular tear of L3, which is the annulus fibrosa, is the covering of the disc. I kind of tore that, but I did not have a disc herniation or protrusion, just an injury. So at 23 years old, they told me that I had no option, essentially, that I was going to get my back fused, and by the time I was 30, which is what I am now, I probably was going to have another surgery. And so that was the first time I ever went to a chiropractor. I called up a friend of mine who was into naturopathic medicine and alternative, holistic healing. And he said, go see this guy. And he never actually adjusted me. He never did anything that snapped or popped or cracked, anything that you guys see on YouTube. He did a lot of muscle work, a lot of flexion distraction, which is a decompressing technique for the low back. And I went from not being able to feel my feet, thinking that at 23 years old I was going to have a L3 through S1 fusion, to then lifting weights again and squatting again. And that kind of changed my entire life trajectory. I went from pre-med with a degree in nutrition, hoping to do sports medicine, to now looking at doing more of a sports chiropractic route. And so because of that, I ended up in chiropractic school. While in chiropractic school, I had the opportunity to do some coaching and powerlifting, and I myself competed in a couple charity events, which was pretty fun. but ended up having that L5 issue that I'd had earlier. I made that worse. And so at that point, I was 26. I went about a week and a half where I only slept maybe an hour a day because of pain. And I thought that for sure I had done it in and I was never going to recover from this one. Well, yet again, I got lucky. My staff clinician at the school was a functional neurologist as well as a chiropractor. And through flexion distraction, yet again, decompression, the McGill Big Three, and just a lot of experimenting with different core exercises, I was actually able to recover from that injury as well. And I see people all the time now that have had these severe back injuries, are told that they need surgery and told that you'll never be able to do it what you're wanting to do again. And I've had too many instances in my life that A, got me into chiropractic, and B, got me through chiropractic school that have showed me otherwise. And so last year when I opened up my clinic here in Tualatin, a week later I actually was rear-ended and ended up having a fracture of one of my low back vertebra. And so that was 9.5 months ago. And yet again, chiropractic massage, proper core activation patterns, and just, really delving deep into the low back rehab, literature and stuff like that. Yet again, I've been able to recover to, I'm about 90% of what I was before. And so I just have a hard time believing that there are people with low back pain that can't get better. I have a hard time believing that, you shouldn't be able to lift until you're well into your elder years, that you should have to rely on anti-inflammatory pills or, painkillers, different things like that. If there's anyone on the planet that should have multiple surgeries, be addicted to painkillers, be on daily anti-inflammatories, it would be me. I've herniated my L3, 4, 5, S1. I've had a broken vertebra, and I'm on none of those things. In addition to that, I'm looking at doing my first weightlifting competition in 13 years. And so I tell you guys this to kind of, convey to you the message that where you are and where you're going, sometimes you can't see the in-between process. Pain is the easiest thing to stimulate. So a lot of times when you're getting treatment, you're still in a small amount of pain and you think, oh, well, it's not working, but function is improving, the ability to do your activities of daily living is improving, you're getting stronger, and the pain will go away. Healing takes time. And so personally, I think being a lifelong athlete and continuing to be a lifelong athlete is something that's very near and dear to me, and that's something I want to give back to with all of my patients. If I ever have anyone that comes in and says, oh, I used to love skiing and now I can't, or I used to love fishing, or I used to love CrossFit or whatever, if they want to get back to that, I will dedicate myself to getting them back to that. And if they have this expectation, my goal is to always exceed that. And it takes patience, it takes time, it takes me figuring out who you are and how your body reacts, and you figuring out kind of what the best treatment protocol is as far as how you react, how I react, how I explain it. And it's a process. And so, I just wanted to kind of explain to you guys that, I've done high-level sports of some sort, for the greater part of 15 years with track and field and weightlifting. I'm still competing and still trying to live by example. And if you guys ever have any questions, if you ever have any issues that come up, you want to discuss different treatment modalities, please reach out to me. If you want to come in and talk, absolutely no problem. We can sit down and chat. If you want to become a patient, even better. But my passion is to help people return to a life of, complete activity that is beyond what they were at before their injury. And I don't think there's any reason that you should ever be told, this is impossible, because time and time again, it's just been proven otherwise. So you guys have a great day, and hopefully you got to know a little more about me and my ramblings, and look forward to hearing from you.